Object number 4. Front view. Top view. Note the hole that goes all the way through the object from top to bottom. Right side view. Object number 4, see-through. Front view. Again, note the hole that goes all the way through the object. Top view. Right side view. Object number 4.
Hello, Mr. Kempton's back with one more tutorial on orthographic projections. This will be block number 4. Again, I've got my sharpened pencil and I have my 45-degree square ready to go. All right, block number 4. Now, block number 4 essentially is a square with a piece cut out of it that goes all the way around, and then a little wooden tower sticking out of it, and a hole cut all the way through it. So I'm going to start this one a little bit differently in that I'm going to draw projection lines all the way up right away. And it'll become clear why I'm doing that in just a second. So looking at my front view, there is a wooden edge that goes all the way around on the bottom of my object. So there we have my dark lines. And then there's a wooden piece that goes all the way around on the top side of the object. And this piece is a little bit thinner than the bottom piece. Again, no measuring, just trying to draw your object. Uh-oh, missed a little spot there. Just try and draw your object so it looks accurate. There's my eraser coming in handy. Okay, and this little indentation comes in on both sides and goes all the way around. Okay, so the other unusual features that are here, there is a piece of dowel, a wooden tube, sticking out of this object. And the one thing that we need to realize too, though, is that when we're looking at an object, oh, I'm making a bit of a mess of this one here. My pencil caught in a groove on my table there. When we have a round object, such as a can of pop, for example, when you look at that from the front view, it'll look like a rectangle. But if you look at it from the top, obviously there's a circle on it. So we're going to experience that right now in our orthographic projection. This wooden dowel looks like a rectangle when we look at it directly from the front view. And over here, there's a hole that is cut all the way through the object. So again, we can't see that, but that hole is going to be represented by our dotted lines, which is a hidden object. So I'm going to continue with my projection lines all the way up, all the way up. Okay, now it's time for my top view. I'm kind of running out of space here a little bit, so I'm going to draw my top view pretty close to my front view. How far apart your views are really doesn't matter. You just want to try and space them fairly well on your diagram. So I'm going to continue to fill in here. There's my left edge, and there's my right edge. Now, this groove that's cut all the way around my object, front, sides, and back, has to be shown up here, and it's going to be shown with a dotted line. So there's a dotted line there, and this distance of that dotted line from there to there needs to be the same as this distance here, because this groove is the same depth all the way around my object. Front, back, left, and right. So I'm going to now Take my dotted line all the way across until it bumps into that projection line. I'll bring it back down, and then I'll take it all the way across. And again, remember, as always, no measuring, you're just looking at this and trying to make distance and spacing work. All right, so that distance right there looks pretty close all the way around. All right, so there we have most of our top view. Now we have to take care of this. And again, when we look at this from the top, it's actually a circle. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm not going to expect you to get out a compass or anything. I'm just going to get you to draw a circle that fits in. Now notice the width of the circle. I've used my projection lines to make sure it looks good. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to bring this over and put it in the same point. So there's my center point. Now here I'm going to draw projection lines right across here to make this work for me. So there's a projection line and there's a projection line because this circle here is in the exact same place. And there's my circle. Again, a little bit more difficult. It's not going to be quite as perfect as everything else in our drawings, but we're going to make it work. And then projection lines come across again from the back, from the front, from the cut, and from the cut. And I'm going to extend these ones just a little bit longer. This is the edges of our wooden tower and our hole. And again, we're going to have a lot of projection lines on this one here because we have projection lines coming from there and there and there and there and there. All right, so now it's time for our 45. Pick a spot. Again, as always, doesn't matter where it is as long as it's somewhere in that area. Line up my 45-degree square, draw in my light projection line, and now it's time to drop. Now, some students get confused with this line right here. They're starting to think that this is actually the edge, but this one here is where the object starts. Remember, there's space between these two views. So this is going to be your first line. So I'm going to drop straight down from there. I'm going to go to my last line and drop straight down from there. And everything else now should fall in between. So there will be a line for every one of these. And we'll figure out what they all mean in just a minute. Okay, we're good. All right, so now I need to start drawing. So I'm looking for the right side view now. So there's my base. And there's the front of my object, so that's where I start. And there's the back of my object, so that's where I finish. All right, so I'll do that also on the top. There to there. All right, I'm going to now do my edge, but you'll notice this is where the groove is, right? This space right here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave that piece out because I know there's no wood there. I got that in the right spot. Yeah, right there. And then I'll fill these in. There we go. Now this groove is right there. And that's a really short line, so I'm going to do that one without a ruler. And now we're left with these features here. So this is the tower. This is the tower. And they happen to line up perfectly with each other, so that means my tower is going to be right there. And obviously by tower I mean the piece of wood sticking out of the top. Notice the height matches on both of those views. The position matches on these views. Now we have our hole. And there's our hole right there, shown by a dotted line. From the right side view, that's also going to be a dotted line. So over and down. And I will turn that into a dotted line that runs all the way through the object. There, I've taken care of everything I need. Now, some students like to get in to start shading. Because this is a hole, for example, they want to shade it because it looks darker because there's no light getting in there. Please don't do that. We don't do any shading in our orthographic drawings. So what's left now is to title this one. Now, it looks like the quality of my video is fading because my sunlight has gone on me here. So, orthographic projection number 4. And this again is yours truly, Mr. Kempton. And this is May 27th, 2020. There we go. We are all finished. We have our 4th orthographic projection. So that's orthographic projections 1, 2, and 3, and 4 all demonstrated to you. You can complete those and get them submitted to me. And next week we're going to start another type of drawing called isometric drawings. All right, good luck.